What's up? It's been a while since we've been on, but we're here to recap week 17 in the NFL and possibly some bowl games if you want to recap that, as well as some pretty exciting ones happen. We had the Pop-Tart Bowl, which was bowl of the year, best bowl game of the year so far. Pretty exciting, including who got cooked at the end. Weird post-game celebrations all around for that game, but I kind of dug how awkward it was. It was only fitting to end this year with stuff like that. And week 17 definitely did not disappoint with Monday Night Football. Falcons coming away with a big dub against the LA Rams. All these teams, man, with nothing to play for, just showing out in the last few weeks of the year. I fucking love it because where was this gameplay early in the year? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But they do it. It's like this is how they should have looked 6 weeks ago, being competitive, and they just showed out. There was a lot of examples of that this weekend. Lots of good stuff. I'm not surprised by this outcome, by the way, the Falcons winning at home 27-24. It did get exciting. It looked like a blowout in the beginning, but Rams came back a couple times, and then nice 51-yard field goal to kind of cap off a nice big win. Not to end the year yet. It's not over yet, but 7-9, definitely a lot better than what they were heading towards. So thoughts initially on this Monday night game before we recap the rest of what happened this weekend since Christmas. It was Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days of games or a 5-game stretch. Pretty intense with some college football in between. A terrible fight. Jake Paul, I believe, was in there as well. Don't know. Everything's kind of a blur. And then I'm dealing with my own fights on my side of the world as well. So I'll bring that up as well.
Was the Jake Paul fight since the last time we record? It's been that long?
No, we recorded last Monday, right? So that Jake Paul fight was on that Friday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was like, I knew it'd been a while. We took the Christmas
like a
break
time,
a little
but
bit,
yeah.
but yeah.
Wasn't sure.
I mean, it was a terrible fight, and just a disgrace to boxing overall. But
agree with that. But I mean, once Jake Paul decided to fight, he broke his jaw. So yeah.
Good. I'm happy he broke his jaw.
I did see the guy that won. He was in an accident and was it Nigeria today or yesterday?
Yeah, that's where he's from.
That killed a couple people.
Yeah, his I think his trainer and somebody else that were in the front seat of the car.
Really? Is his trainer?
Yeah, I forgot who it was, but it was two people close, like two of his best friends and two people that were close to him as far as his training camp.
Damn, that's rough. That is
rough.
Yeah. Christmas, man. Interesting time of the year. I'll get into my stuff later on, the drama that I've been dealing with. But thoughts on this Monday Night Football game?
You wanted to start the podcast, I think about an hour ago, said it was a boring game. And I just didn't know, I know some of us out there have YouTube TV. There's a little bit of a broadcast delay. Wasn't sure if, you're maybe a half hour behind or something, understanding maybe you're at halftime at that point. But I mean, you texted us and, I was dancing on the Rams grave a little bit because I got a lot of Rams fans in my life and a lot of crap they're talking over the Bears losing. Oh, yeah. I mean, down here, there's a bunch of Rams fans. And, they're talking a lot of crap after the Bears lost to the Niners last night. And I think that was, yeah. Oh, yeah. But
why?
I don't know, man. I can't.
It was a good game.
It was a good game. It was just about the Bears lost. And it may be because I have some bets over, it was NFC West versus NFC North now. And so now the West is probably going to have a better record than the North. But besides that, at the time you texted us, Rome, the Rams block a field goal, take it back all the other way, only down 24-17, erasing some of that deficit. I didn't hear. I think it was tied, Aaron, where the broadcast actually brought up this is like the biggest comeback on the Falcons since the Super Bowl versus the Patriots at a certain point. But yeah, an entertaining game. I think Aaron and I can't remember your pick, Romes, but this was we were figuring this is going to be a Rams kind of cakewalk. They have the opportunity to potentially get the number 1 overall seed that was out there, and now with this loss, they still got the opportunity, I think, for the 5 seed, depending on what happens next week. But I think their biggest lock is potentially in the 6. So, I mean, just a lot in the playoff implications from a team, the Rams, that statistically, top team in the league. They got one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses. Rome, you had at the top of the power rankings in your world, a good portion of the past maybe month and a half or so. And so them losing against the Seahawks in that comeback, and now this loss against another lowly NFC South team. Remember they lose to the Panthers a month or so ago. This is a team that should be, Super Bowl contender. Vegas had them as the favorites for the Super Bowl, maybe for the past month. And now they're going to finish like third in the division probably at this point.
I love it.
It's a lot of implications on this game, right? I mean, the Rams, like Jason mentioned, still had a shot at outside shot at the 1 seed, still a shot at the 5. That's if Seattle happens to beat the 49ers. Then the Rams would go to 5, Niners go to 6. I mean, the other thing here is if you're the Rams and the Niners do win and you get the 6 seed, you're going back to Philadelphia more than likely. And Philadelphia's kind of been one of the kryptonites for the Rams over the last couple of years. Obviously, beat them twice last year, beat them in the divisional game. I think another team that we didn't even mention, the most happiest team tonight, Carolina. Because if Atlanta happens to win on Saturday, no matter what Carolina does, they are basically...
They're in.
They're in.
Yeah.
So they are in the playoffs, and I think the Falcons are going to beat the Saints. And I believe that's what's going to end up happening. And Carolina's going to get that number 4 spot and likely host either the Rams or Seattle.
Be kind of cool.
My Panthers pick at the beginning of the year didn't look as bad at this point. Although I was wrong. They said they were going for the 7th seed. They're going to get the 4th seed.
Yeah, you're off, dude. You undershot them a little bit. They're gonna get the 4th seed. That's 7 or 8 and 9.
Unless the Saints, the hottest team maybe in the NFC right now, happens to pull off another victory over the Falcons. You never know. You just never know.
Well, this was a little bit of, the Falcons team you expected all season, but it took, huge game from Bijan, got serviceable work from Kirk Cousins in the game.
Yeah.
But
he's had quite a few down the stretch here.
Defensively, I think that was the more impressive thing for the Falcons in the first half, where this is a Rams team. I think it's top 3 in the league or something from an offensive standpoint. And the Falcons D hasn't been great the entire year, but they really showed up here. You saw Xavier Watts, Notre Dame alumni, make some big plays in this game. And I think that was the encouraging sign for the Falcons, is that you had all this talent we talk about on the offensive side, but the defense really kind of stepped it up here in a way, late in the season to do that. So I don't know, a lot of implications, but yeah, Aaron probably highlighting, the more interesting and not interesting portion of an 8 and 9 Panthers team playing for nothing here versus the Buccaneers. And, we were 5-6 weeks into the season talking about Baker in the potential front runner MVP, and Buccaneers running away with this division, running away from the division, and now they're up into a collapse where it doesn't even matter if they win on Sunday and they're going to lose.
This is why I hate talking about how good teams are in the first 4 weeks. I hate it every year because it always catches us. And this year we had a couple of them. We had the Bucks, and then we had the Colts, and who else was really brilliant in the beginning? Chargers. They've done okay down the stretch now, but
they've done okay.
But
honestly, I think you're right, Rome. But I think that's the biggest thing you look, and some people don't like this. You got to start evaluating schedules and different thing when you go through team to team. There's 2 teams I'll tell you that we talked about at the beginning of the year that will probably be better because of the ease of their schedule. One was the Bears, and the other was the 49ers. And so the 49ers, with all the injuries they had, they're going to collapse and this and that. But they had manageable games in their schedule and didn't play a bunch of tough games in a row in the middle of the season, and that was there. For some of these teams, you get a backloaded schedule, you start playing a bunch of hard teams in a row, or whatever happens, and you get a few key injuries and you lose it. I mean, injuries I think really well caught up with the Colts. They're trotting out Phil Rivers and everything else they got going on with that team.
Who's done good? That team, no one could carry that team. That team is depleted beyond repair right now. Rivers is not going to do any better, and I kind of feel bad he came back to such like a lose-lose situation here.
Oh, I mean, they had a shot. I mean, Rivers, tough spot there in his first game at Seattle. They played a great game. Seattle kicks a 56-yard field goal at the end to win.
Great game.
The following game,
another good game.
Defensively horrible game against the Niners, which the Niners have gone back-to-back games. We'll talk about with 40-plus points. But for the Colts, I mean, you guys touched on it probably week 8, 9, 10, whatever it was. He went all in on Sauce Gardner. He essentially only plays one game.
And that was the beginning of the end.
And then he gets hurt. He got hurt again on Sunday. Only played the first half against Jacksonville. Wouldn't have mattered anyways because they were out of the playoffs. But, going back to Rome, you said about the Bucs off to that hot start. I mean, it seems to be that NFC South. Last year, remember, Atlanta had like a 3-game lead halfway through. They tanked. Tampa got hot. Carolina did not look good. I mean, they had some bad losses against Seattle and other teams, and then they stunned Green Bay. We're kind of like, maybe something here. Maybe Green Bay was just whatever.
13-point favorites. I remember that game.
Yeah. Then they beat the Rams. And then, all of a sudden we're like, okay, maybe they're back. Maybe they're good. They lay a dud in San Francisco on a Monday night. Look like they're in trouble again.
And that's where you threw them away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got it. I mean, they've lost now twice to the Saints. They look bad. Yet they look bad yesterday against Seattle. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Both the Bucs and the Panthers just did not have it last week or past weekend.
But injuries like you guys touched on, especially Tampa, at least the wide receiver room, Godwin, Evans hurt all year. Something's wrong with Baker. I know he had kind of an oblique injury kind of midway through. I mean, they just ain't the same team right now. I think they've lost 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And regardless of probably what happens against Carolina, Atlanta takes care of business, which I believe they will, but it won't be easy against New Orleans because New Orleans is playing pretty good football. Carolina will be in the playoffs hosting a playoff game.
Well, if Carolina wins, they're in. But if they lose and Atlanta wins, they're in.
Yes.
Bucs have to win. Talking about 40-point games, though, last night, absolute stunner, man. Every week we've had like the best game of the season. It just gets better and better. I was kind of surprised how many points the Bears put up, and they just kept it up. And then after that pick 6 from Brock Purdy to start things off, I was like, oh shit, crazy stuff to kind of start things off. He settled down, 2 running touchdowns, three in the air, another 5 touchdown performance. Say what you will. I know some of you guys hate on him, but he's playing lights out right now, and he has to because that defense doesn't have a lot of people left. But collectively, as a unit, I thought they've been playing pretty well, but Bears just lit them up yesterday, and it was one of the most funnest games I've seen all year.
Yeah, completely agree. It was a great game. Obviously a heartbreaking game for me as a Bears fan right at the end, but I'll be honest, when you reflect a little bit about it, I didn't think the Bears were going to win going in. They had a ton of injuries, and mostly his illness going into the game. They had Darnell Wright not even flying out with the team. He flew in the morning of the game by himself. DJ Moore was questionable. Aroma Dunze was still out, and so it was key players for the Bears that were going to be out for this game. And it just feel like one of those games after they clinched the division on Saturday by not even playing because of the Packers loss, and they got all these this illness, and like, man, this is kind of going to be a letdown potentially. And you're right, Rome, that pick 6 at the beginning of the game, really kind of lit something out. The Niners were able to come back and score. But I mean, just the craziness that was going back and forth between the offenses. This may have been one of the more complete games the Bears offense have had all season, maybe back to the Dallas game really early in September. But I mean, there was throws by Caleb Williams, and I know he's got his haters and everything out there, but the bomb to Luther Burden looked effortless. It was all arm, no legs, 50 yards on just on a laser down the field.
This guy makes the hardest throws look so easy, and some of the easiest throws look really, really, really hard. It's quite the anomaly, but he's done a phenomenal job, though.
Yeah, I think that's a great assessment because some of these throws just look insane, but some of the easy, higher completion stuff wasn't there. And, it all came down to a play at the end. And I really think it was the drive before of them only getting the field goal and not the touchdown. In that drive before, I was like, hey, we were matching touchdown for touchdown and the Bears having to settle for a field goal really set up. I'm like, man, when they kick that field goal, I'm like, this is going to end with having to score a touchdown and exactly how it finished. The Niners covered it well. There was a very glimmer of opportunity for Caleb to complete that scramble there on, to end the game. But it was
social media was burning him today. And I'm just thinking dude, this guy was getting chased by 20 different Niner jerseys going across the field to catch a guy that, allegedly was open.
Yeah, the route that White ran, like he ran the other direction to the additional play and then came back and like was between 3 Niners. Like it was a very difficult throw. And Caleb was falling backwards on it. And so I think overall it was just it was a play before the hook and ladder. I think they were thinking that was going to be the touchdown.
That was a good play. I was kind of surprised that they stuffed it out.
Swift couldn't, get in. I think that was the one that you wouldn't be surprised with the touchdown. And them stopping them just really left kind of the Bears reeling a little bit to have it just one play, game on the line. I don't think there's anything, honestly, Rome, that you can say for 50% of social media out there that's going to make people on Caleb's side for anything. There is instant doubt on everything he does. But I think in the Bears universe, this is the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. Like it's just
one thing I will say.
Plain simple.
On social, there has been like a change of tide on the comments from Bears fans. Before, all the Bears fans were talking shit on how this guy paints his nails, this guy's really sassy or whatever the hell he is, allegedly. Stuff came out this week now that like he might be actually dating a girl. So everyone was like, oh, he's not gay? All right. And now the Bears fans are like, who gives a shit if he's gay or not? He's our quarterback. And like it's like a complete 180. Like they don't care at all. Paint the nails, come out in a dress. As long as you're making throws like that, that's our quarterback. And it's been like a fun progression to see, like especially like the past month. Like Bears fans are all in now. Even the highest doubters.
They are, but I wouldn't say that was the majority of people doubting. I think there was a lot of belief in Caleb of being the guy, and especially what they got him. There was a very small contingent that was the Justin Fields truthers out there that still feel to this day that they should have kept Justin Fields, traded the Hall, drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. in that draft, and everything. There was like the Hall is everything they talked about. What they could have got for the Caleb.
I think this year put a cap on the Justin Fields conversation.
It did, and I think that's the minority now coming to around. But I think the non-Bears fans still have questions about Caleb. Is he the franchise quarterback? And like we've talked about this podcast a lot, there's a rankings from probably, I don't know the exact, but hey, 6 through 20 in this league. There's a very thin margin between quarterbacks, and it depends on coaching, roster, situation, all that type of stuff. Caleb's got the opportunity now, like, hey, talent-wise, defensive coordinators, head coach really think this guy's got top 10 talent in the league. There's things on completion percentage, like you said, the easy stuff, him making it look hard. That's what he needs to prove on. But he's in year 2, and there's the progression. There's comparisons. I don't know if we shared this of Caleb in year 2 versus Josh Allen in year 2. There's a ton of comparisons in those statistics. However,
people want to dump Allen really quickly, but yeah,
they did. Now, on the flip side, I don't agree with this. There's a lot of comparisons between Caleb year 2 stats and Mitch Trubisky.
And Peyton Manning?
No, Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. They're very similar.
Yeah, so I guess they could go two ways for Caleb out of this. Is it going to Josh Allen and, hey, you're perennial MVP, or it's Trubisky? Because this does Bears' first division title since 2018. That was the Matt Nagy year where the Bears had the double doink. That was the most successful year the Bears have had the last 20 years. That's what you can point to as Trubisky's best year. But I think Caleb is above that. This is just scratching the surface of what this offense can do. Luther Burden in that game, massive game for him and what he could be. And when you start getting some different pieces offensively, Colston Loveland, I think a lot of questions why the Bears drafted him. That was coming up. So great showing by the Bears. But the Niners, to your point, Purdy in that game, I think was super impressive. For whatever you want to say about another person who gets a lot of doubt, the thing most impressive in the game, and I was scared and going into this, and in our picks, we didn't post them on socials or the podcast or stuff, but I picked the Niners because this is the offense that I feared for the Bears. Was they don't get a great pass rush with 4, and Purdy gets rid of the ball quickly and hits the Bears in certain spots in their zone, and the Bears are all bend but don't break. And then when they bring the blitz, they're exposing it, and that really lit it up. They were able to do this, and that's scary for the playoffs because I think both the Niners and the Rams are tough matchups for the Bears because there's accurate quarterbacks who get rid of the ball quickly, versus some of the others that hold where the Bears can feast.
Purdy's decision-making, that toe, he had some nice scrambles when things were just breaking down. He used his feet all at the right time, got nice pickups. It was really nice. It's just as good as he's played ever since he's taken over the starting job and here in San Francisco. So we'll see what comes out, man. Big games, Week 18. Aaron, you haven't talked a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about the Bears 49ers game, or should we start recapping some of the other stuff?
No, I mean, I think you guys hit it right there. I mean, like you said, Rome, Brock Purdy, nice game. I think that toe was this is like you mentioned, Rome. I think it's the best Brock Purdy's looked. I mean, he's always had a lot of weapons around him, and you got to mention
without the weapons.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting some guys back. Jennings, Ricky Bersall, those guys. Tonjes. I mean, Tonjes has been a pretty solid tight end with Kittle out this year. CMC, he's been good. Had another good game. And so, but yeah, I mean, his ability to run around, keep plays going. I mean, that play where he kind of juked two guys, threw it to the fullback there for a touchdown was a big play. So
that was nice.
He rushed in 2 scores. And again, like Caleb, Bear fans, of course, are going to love him. If you're winning, no matter what town you're in, everybody loves you. As soon as you start losing, then they jump off the bandwagon. I don't know. The Bears, they obviously didn't watch the game film last week. You cannot play zone defense against Brock Purdy 100% of the time. He will eat you for dinner. That's what he did to the Colts. That's what he did to the Bears. Seattle's a different animal. That should be a great matchup because Seattle will give you so many different looks, and they will challenge the wideouts on the outside, something the 49ers have not had. They've only punted 2 times in the whole month of December, which is crazy.
Sounds crazy.
Like the Colts. It sounds like the Colts the first 4 weeks of the year where their punter was like basically on vacation. So we'll see what happens here. It looks like if the Bears are gonna need a win to keep that 2 seed over Philadelphia, which means they'll match up with Green Bay again. That'll be a hell of another matchup. Pick'em game could go either way. Niners, obviously, they would love to win because if not, they got to go to Philadelphia. You don't want to play that defense out there in the cold. Brock Purdy has some bad nightmares against those guys. Oh, the teams that like you mentioned, Rome, Philly's getting hot. And the Rams, kind of a little cold streak here. We'll see what ends up happening with them. Playoffs are going to be interesting. Green Bay, we'll touch on that game, but that was an embarrassment on Saturday. So,
dude, ass-whooping of the week. I think that was going to be my nominee. I wrote that down somewhere. Pats, Jets, but I think just the Ravens, Packers, it was just no effort. It just looked like no effort. Speaking of no effort, my Steelers looked like they had no effort as well. Rodgers looked washed on those last 2 drives. And although my daughter was with me, we broke protocol. I kind of gave her a hard time. She took off the jersey so we could take Westy out on a walk. It was a beautiful day out there because it was raining really hard. We were in the storm the last few days driving around. Hung out the park a little bit, and I'm watching the final minutes tick away. And I'm like, God damn it, we're not on the fucking couch. You don't have your Steelers jersey on. She's like, what, they're losing? I'm like, yeah. And
so this is like at the end, Rome, not before the start of the games. This is at the end.
She had the jersey on. It was a tough game anyways. She was watching a lot of it. It's just
it was an ugly game to watch if you're a Steelers fan.
We finally got to. We
so I think that's what happened. She got tired of it.
She did get tired of it, actually. She was watching it.
I don't want you to blame your daughter on this, Rome, because I think Myles Garrett may. I know. I want to say Myles Garrett said, I believe in the post game, questioning whether the Steelers lost the game because they were more concerned about not letting him get a sack versus winning the game.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with
that.
Like
they talked more about that on social media than anything else. I was actually irritated about it. Like, who cares?
I mean, the biggest missing guy was DK. I mean, if DK's there, they win that game. So, I mean, obviously, Ravens might be paying that Lions season ticket holder his season tickets for the next decade if they get in the playoffs because he did them a favor getting him suspended for this game as well.
Was this guy is he like the guy from Major League too? Just in the I mean,
I'm about to watch this movie again.
Major League 2. I mean, it's Randy Quaid, the actor that played the guy, but I mean, he's going after I guess it's not the perfect analogy because he was heckling his own team on this, but for someone to get under the skin so bad of a fan like that, I mean,
Randy Quaid,
this is multiple years running. This is multiple years running
since he was in Seattle. Yeah. But quick little detour here. Randy Quaid in the National Lampoons with Chevy Chase, him being the brother-in-law. Just Christmas gets vacation underneath my skin so much. Like I can just see I love Chevy Chase does the perfect disappointment look after look. It is just so good. And my daughter loves that. He's like, let's watch the movie with a funny guy. It's Chevy Chase.
It's an acting masterpiece by Randy Quaid in that one. Just
I can't believe it. He fucking nails it. Yeah, no, good job. So I got my daughter, or I don't know, never mind. All right, so we got Steelers, Ravens, ass kicking of the week, Patriots. Anybody else for ass kicking of the week? I think that's pretty good, huh? Bengals, Cards. I didn't watch any of that game.
Yeah, I didn't either. I don't know how you don't give the ass kicking of the week though to the Patriots. I mean, that game was over in the first quarter, basically. I mean, they were trying to get Drake May the MVP in the first half. They're like, we're just gonna let this guy run it up.
Dude, I was about to put it onto my 4, and then I just saw the score. I'm like, what the hell? All right, I guess I'm not gonna put it on afterwards. So I watched every other game that I was in that time bracket.
It was what 35-3 at the half.
It was
like
quick,
it was like
yeah.
21-0 in the first quarter.
I think that's when I saw it. Yeah, 21-0, and then I was like, forget it, I'm not gonna watch it. This game's over.
It's another thing about, I saw this stat today with the Patriots though. I think the Patriots are a very good team, but there was a stat of Drake May has 1 win versus a team above 500 this year, but Jackson Dart has 2.
Well, I mean, the Patriots, this is what the easiest schedule in the NFL since 1999.
Something
is that
like
what they're saying?
Yeah. Since the Rams in 1999, this is the easiest schedule.
They're undefeated on the road, 8-0 on the road.
But they do have road wins at Baltimore and Buffalo.
They do.
So I'll say that. But yeah, their schedule has been extremely soft. I mean, they had a stretch where they had New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Atlanta when Atlanta was dog shit. That was like a 4-game stretch for them. So,
well, that's the problem, like it's just we've had a few more of these this year where you get an easier schedule this year, so it might be like a little bit of fool's gold. You just don't know how things play out. They could probably come back to reality. They could have like a relapse, like the way the Washington Commanders have had, where everyone's just injured and they didn't actually get younger at all when they had a really old defensive unit there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens next year.
It'll change. You'll see a lot of different ones. I mean, you look at the Rams, Niners, like they had an easy schedule this year. They're playing NFC South, I think an AFC South, something like that. So they just get the who's who of, below 500 teams for whole divisions basically in their schedules this year. So, I mean, the schedule plays a factor, but I think you're all like, when you look at these teams in the top resumes right now, yeah, they all play bad teams because they beat them all.
Yeah. Christmas games. Did you guys like them, love them, or hate them?
As far as having games on Christmas or the 2 individual games themselves?
Both. I thought we had 3 games.
Yeah, we did have 3.
There was 3 games.
Felt like about 1.5. Like each game was like half a game where it was good, maybe.
I didn't get a chance to watch anything. I just watched highlights afterwards.
I'll say I like the Christmas Day games, but I'm not an NBA guy. So that's I guess that's your big thing. I like the
NBA games. I didn't watch NBA games either. I wasn't really a big fan of what was on there.
I watched some NBA. I watched some NBA.
Nice. I know you did,
I liked it. I liked it better than the NFL on Christmas Day.
Yeah, the Christmas games this year was trash. It's weird. I saw like a little piece of it on like Netflix. I just wasn't feeling it.
I liked the Netflix broadcast. They made everything feel big time. They had, I know it was a little biased. They had my guy Seth Rollins, former WWE champion, here on the game analyst. He's turned it into his second career now, being an NFL analyst. But I like they had the whole like kind of pregame into the doubleheader type thing out of both games. They had guys from the team. They had like Clinton Portis and Emmitt Smith during the game and live and stuff. Oh,
that's why I missed all that.
Yeah, I like how Netflix does the broadcast for, hey, this is our 1 game a year. It's a big doubleheader. I mean, at the beginning of the season, you would have thought this was a good slate because, hey, Commanders, Cowboys. Commanders were good last year. Cowboys are on the up. Lions, Vikings, both teams that won, 14 games or whatever it was last year. And Broncos, Chiefs, we would have thought that was a big matchup too. Potentially for the AFC West crown, and the Chiefs falling off the way they did. So I think the games were disappointing, but I think the broadcast, I think Netflix does it right.
I did watch highlights, and the only thing I caught from the Broncos Chiefs is that Bo Nix was barely good enough to beat the 3rd string from the Chiefs. from Lions Vikings, all I basically saw was Brosner, was that his name? He had 3 passing yards, and that was an upgrade over his previous outing, and they still beat the Lions. What the hell did the Lions do?
Jared Goff was bad. Jared Goff was bad, man.
I saw the 5 turnovers. And I'm like really curious, like what happened? And then Cowboys Commanders, I did not see anything from this game, highlights wise. So
I think Dak looked good in that game. Krosky Merritt looked really good for Washington that game. I think you're looking for him. But yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't a great overall football game. Like it wasn't a great football being played, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll second that. I mean, I thought Netflix did a great job. I liked the end of the game. Everybody got players of the game getting a little tomahawk steak there.
Nice.
At the end. To what you guys said, I mean, the matchups look great coming into the season. Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Broncos, Chiefs, all great matchups. I mean, I don't know if the NFL will start doing it later in the year since Christmas does fall towards the end. Will we start getting games flexed for Christmas Day? It's kind of tough because it's a Thursday, not a Saturday or Sunday night. Tough to do, but maybe something they think about in the future. That way we don't have basically meaningless games. The Lions, 6 turnovers in that game. Goff was terrible. Dak looked good. I mean, Broncos barely hold on to win, but yet had 3 times as many total yards than the Chiefs, who, basically did nothing in that game except just kind of hold on and try to win. But it was a lot of dogs covering on this weekend for sure. But I like what Netflix does. I mean, I like how they got the pregame, everything, the build up to it. I like the coverage of it.
Saturday games. Yeah, Texans, Chargers. Love the Texans that game. Ravens, Packers. Was surprised that the Ravens dominated that game.
I mean, I think it was a lot what you wanted to see the Ravens do a lot of year with Derrick Henry, and 36 carries was probably more workload than you probably want to get your running back in a given day. But I mean, I think that's what they're going to have to do, depending on Lamar Jackson's health, if they're able to get into the playoffs. I think you're going to have to ride Derrick Henry. I mean, it's win or go home, and potentially coach's job on the line there in that AFC North matchup this upcoming week. But I think the Ravens, definitely found their path in the running game that had been missing a lot of the year.
I'm telling you, man, I might go to Kalshi and put on a bet of like at least three of the 4 coaches leaving out of that division this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, likely 2 fired, but I mean, Zach Taylor, it's kind of interesting because
2 others go. I can see them all go.
Well, someone's going to win the division like Jason touched on, and it's hard to get rid of a guy that's won the division. I mean, there's been a lot of weird stuff coming out of Baltimore, especially on Lamar Jackson. I mean, one week it was hardball. Now it's Lamar Jackson is sleeping, playing video games. I guess him and Kyler Murray are playing Call of Duty or something because he can't show up for meetings, they're saying.
Who, Lamar?
Yeah.
Nah. I never heard that.
Yeah, that was a big thing that he was. They were pushing team meetings because he was busy playing video games and can't get up in the morning. That was the rumor.
Interesting. Have you heard that, Jason?
I had not heard that, but I mean,
well, I guess like one good thing that came out of this, like Packers fans had a lot of praise for Malik Willis. They threw him out, the Tennessee Titans.
Malik Willis is going to get paid.
Yeah, he's about to get paid. They want him to keep him. Hell, they're even talking about throwing Love out and giving Willis a job. Like that's how much they're starting to change tide on this thing.
I know Packer fans who've said since last year that they'd rather have Willis in than Love.
Aaron?
Personally, Willis is quicker, has a better arm, just hasn't seen as much game action.
Well, he was raw. Like everybody knew he was raw when he was in Tennessee.
And Tennessee was, he was there 1 year with Vrabel. He kind of was thrown into the mix. He was like the 3rd string quarterback. They kind of threw him out there in one game. I mean, he's always had raw talent.
He was supposed to sit.
What round did he go? 2nd or 3rd? Because I remember there was rumors that Steelers were going to take him in the 1st round, that draft class.
They probably should have because they haven't had shit since then.
But maybe that's where he ends up going. Because, I mean, Malik Willis is going to get paid by somebody. It's, some teams are going to need a quarterback. A lot of them do. I don't know if he's going to play this week or not, if they're going to go to, Tune or whatever his name is, and just go to the 3rd string quarterback. But, Rome, I mean, if you're Green Bay, Derrick Henry, everybody knew Derrick Henry was going to get the ball, and you can't stop this guy. I thought it was an embarrassment for the Packers, and not a good look. Not a good look for that team. Everybody was talking about their defensive coordinator getting a head coaching job. That's a joke. I'd probably can his ass after this season because I knew exactly what Baltimore was going to do. They ran the same 5 plays. Hand off Henry right, hand off Henry left, quarterback draw, 5-yard out, 5-yard out. They never threw the ball beyond 5 yards. It was like they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers out there. They didn't do anything right. Green Bay, just an embarrassment game, Rome. That was an ass whipping of ass whippings.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about your Green Bay team going to the playoffs, man.
No, they're one and done. Well, look, if they do get the Bears, assuming the Bears do beat the Lions on this upcoming weekend, it's a pick'em game. That game can go either way. No matter how you type it, good or bad, they could play 10 times. They'd still split 5-5. Could go either way. We'll see what happens.
Other games from this weekend, we won't talk about Giants Raiders. I don't see why. Eagles Bills. That was so big, man. Bills had a chance to win it at the end. I don't know why. So I disagree with the 2-point conversion at the end. I was watching that. You're at home. Eagles weren't really moving the ball in the second half. The Bills, their defense is starting to show like another level in the last few games, and then they kind of go for 2. Josh did have the guy open, and it looked like he just kind of fell out the wrong way going to the left, and it was just dead. That was an easy 2 for the win, but I don't see why not just get the extra point and then move on into overtime. Thoughts on that game?
I mean, just offense not getting rolling in the first half. The James Cook, I think, bottling him up from the Eagles D. That's what you see. But I mean, the ending of the game, obviously, we're Josh Allen missing, I guess wide open receiver pretty much to win the game there. Aaron, I mean, that was probably the thing that that lives with you kind of there at the end of the game, because the Bills had the chance and it was right there for as much as they couldn't get going for 3 quarters of football. They're able to get back in the game, have the opportunity to win. You have the right play dialed up, and it just came to an execution aspect of it. Like, I mean, those are the margins in which we're dealing with in a lot of these games. I mean, even tonight, we talked about the Monday night game, but man, Stafford misses one of his receivers right there at the end with 20 something seconds left that, changes the Rams' fortunes too. Like, there's these small execution plays where it's the perfect play dialed up and it comes down to making, the right throw. It doesn't have to be a tremendous throw. I think out of that entire game, it wasn't a very watchable game between those two teams, but to me, it all came down to, hey, this last piece there for Josh Allen missing that throw, the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, he had them. But, Rome, to your point, why'd they go for 2? The first extra point got blocked. So that's in the back of your head. Hey, we got a kicker that's never kicked here before because our main kicker's out injured. We bring in Badgley. It's windy. It's a tough place to kick regardless. The first extra point gets blocked. I'm pinning the ball in my MVP's hands and saying, go win it. And he had him. He missed him. I'd rather take that chance 9 out of 10 times and give it to a kicker that's never kicked there. Because if he makes that first extra point or it doesn't get blocked, Buffalo just kicks the extra point there, make or miss. We go to overtime or they win. I like the recall. I mean, they know that the chance of them even winning the division, highly unlikely. I mean, the Patriots got Miami this weekend. The way they're rolling should be an easy win for them. So they went for it, didn't get it. Looks like they're locked in as maybe 6 or 7 seed. We'll see what they decide to do. They could lose outright against the Jets, go back to New England, or happen to find themselves and win, and then they're looking at either going to Jacksonville or likely Houston. So they got a lot of options on their mind. I know the Chargers have already announced they're not playing any starters. So Broncos will win the AFC they already have. They'll be the number 1 seed in the AFC conference as well.
Yeah, I still like the Bills in the playoffs. They just got to get in, but just like some weird bumps in the road, getting in. But at least the defense is tightening up, so that's a positive. It's just Allen and Cook on offense. They still don't have a wide receiver. They have like the same issues at the.
Well, they had Cooks. The other Cooks
Cooks. Yeah, he had a good game, or he's had a few. They could have definitely used Coleman stepping up this year, but that has not happened.
I think they got to activate Coleman, man. I don't know about you, but they didn't have any team speed or size. They needed that against Philadelphia.
Coleman's not fast, but he has hands. He's just not fast.
But he's 6'4", 6'5". He can box out. He can get position. And when you're playing in sloppy weather games, that's what you need.
There was a wide
And they
receiver
didn't
with
have
the
Kincaid
Jets
either.
a long time ago that he wasn't particularly fast, but he just had body and he was like kind of elusive. That's who Coleman reminds me of. I'm just drawing a blank. It was like in the mid 2000s. He might have played with the Steelers too.
This guy's talking about like Wayne Corbett or something like that. What are you talking about?
No, 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 no.
Wayne Corbett had no size. That guy was our size.
Nah, man.
Man.
I'm trying to remember. Like he was decent, but all right. Seahawks, Panthers.
He's really a poor man's Keyshawn Johnson, to be honest. Keyshawn Johnson had no speed, but knew how to run routes and had great hands and was smart.
Yeah, except he's not doing anything with the Bills.
He's missing meetings. He's missing meetings, and I don't know what else is going on. But I think if you're Buffalo and you put on the tape, I'm activating him against the Jets at least. Get him some run.
Dude, I'm activating OJ Simpson. I don't give a shit what your pass is. You're in the game. We gotta get to the playoffs. OJ is innocent.
Of all crimes, right, Rome?
Most.
One of your worst takes, probably,
who wouldn't want to get their own gear back? All right. Can't blame somebody for that. Jack's Colts blowout. That was not surprising. I think we kind of covered it all. We didn't cover the Seahawks Panthers. I didn't watch too much of this, to be honest with you. Saints Titans. I didn't watch too much of that either. You guys there?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Are you there?
Yeah, you were breaking up. I heard something about Saints, Titans, and Seahawks, Panthers, it looked like.
I also thought you heard Jaguars, Colts was a blowout, and it was a 6-point game, so I'm not sure what week you were talking about there.
I don't think it was that close. Like,
it was a pretty close game.
Yeah.
Indy was up at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah, until the third quarter. I don't know. It just felt like the tide turned big time in the third quarter for me. So I changed it.
It did. I mean, the Jags, though, I mean, looking 12-4, top of the division right now. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season?
Just Aaron.
I didn't think they'd be that good, Rome. But
good or a little luck or a little bit of both.
I think they're really good, Jacksonville.
I think they're good. I mean, there's been I've been critical about Trevor Lawrence as far as what he is supposed to have been out of Clemson,
right?
And this has been his career performance the past maybe 6 to 8 weeks or something like that for what he's been able to do with this team. I as much as we've praised Liam and the running game, he's got that going. I mean, that was really kind of the starting point for how Trevor's been able to find a lot of different receivers and really use his legs in a lot of different areas. Trevor's been really good. I mean, and he hasn't even had. We haven't seen Brian Thomas really been super crazy, and they don't even have Travis Hunter. Like part of me even thinks like, what if this team didn't draft Travis Hunter and they drafted somebody else that was going to be a little more impactful because they never really found out what they wanted to do with him throughout the season.
Yeah, that was a fumble. There.
I don't know if it's a fumble yet. We'll find out. I mean, Travis Hunter was having a pretty decent year on offense. I don't know how they're going to implement him on the defense. But, I mean, yeah, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, obviously, I thought his game would be a lot better this year of Liam Cohen going there. We saw what he did with Baker. We see what Baker's doing without him not there. Everybody that's had an elite coordinator, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, every team they've left has declined, and every team now that they're with, the Bears and Jaguars, have steady inclined and gotten better. So, I mean, to your guys' point, like we talk about all year, coaching matters. And if you got the right coaches, you can take a good player and make them better and take an average player and make them good. So, but Jacksonville, I think defensively, that's been the key. I think they're number 1 in the league against the run. So that has been big too, because last year they were ranked in the bottom 3rd in the league, but they're scary. I mean, we saw what they did to Denver at Denver. Looking like they're going to get the 3 seed, which means they will be matching up with Buffalo or the Chargers. And they've got a lot of weapons. I mean, Strange, the tight end, is back. Washington's been good. Jacoby Myers, who they signed to an extension. So their 3 wide receivers are all set for, basically the remainder of Trevor Lawrence's contract. Jacksonville, I think, is a team on the up and up in the AFC, definitely.
All right, so you got Pats, Bills, Steelers and Ravens. Steelers really blew that, man. They could have had their postseason locked in, and now they got to go for it this weekend in Week 18. Jags, Texans. Who figured, huh? Broncos, Chargers. Who's the third team in the playoffs? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's gonna get left out? Actually,
Steelers or Ravens.
pretty deep. My daughter's learning the heartbreak of losing at Mario Super Party that she got for Christmas.
Is she alluding to you with the heartbreak with the Steelers losing on Sunday night?
It's a family tradition starting on Christmas, huh?
Do you feel bad about the Steelers losing? No, she's upset about losing at Super Mario Brother, whatever it is. On the NFC, we got Eagles, Bears. Are Packers in?
Yes.
Packers.
No matter what,
they're the 7 seed. They're locked into the 7 seed.
Got it. All right, so Vikings, Lions out, and last place up for grabs this weekend when your Bears face the Lions this weekend, Jason. Panthers, Bucks, and then Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams. What a loaded division there. I read somewhere that Liam Cohen's the first coach to bring a team under 4 wins up to 12 wins the following season. Would the Bears be in the same situation? Do they have 4 wins? They had 5 wins last year.
Bears had 5 wins last year.
Still impressive if they get to 12. They got me beat by 3 games on the over-under, I think. Any other thoughts?
Did the Patriots win more than 4 games last year?
Patriots won 4 games as well.
Yeah, but
this is the first time ever head coach. Okay.
Yeah. It's not for a season.
New organization.
Okay. Yeah. I have no comments on week 17 besides some really tough losses here. Tough way for the Lions to go out. I still like them, man. I still like them a lot. It sucks not having them in the playoffs. Texans, though, heating up. That's my dark horse, man. That's my dark horse to go deep this year. This might be the perfect year to do it.
Well, Rome, I mean, you called it maybe 6 weeks or so ago. I think you need to go find your clip and get that out there.
I do.
And Aaron was, posting his call of the Lions.
Yeah, I finally saw the clip. What clip you sent? I was like, of course, you're going back on little clips. What a lucky fucking take, by the way. All right,
Hey, man.
I posted it was ballsy, but it was also stupid and reckless. And then luckily, it came true.
Hey, you got to take your shots, man. You got to take your shots.
You took a shot, dude. You took a shot. If you would have gambled on that, you would have made some coin.
No doubt. I mean, no doubt.
I don't think it was a lucky shot. I think Aaron called it. We saw it week 1 in Green Bay where the team was at. They had a couple, good moments when the team was super healthy, but, really struggled. I mean, then you see Jared Goff this last season, man. Like, where is this offense without Ben Johnson? A lot of questions.
He had a pretty good year. He just had one bad game. You guys want to throw him underneath the bus?
I mean, they lost 8 games from him. I don't know if you can say he had one bad game.
He had 2 bad.
He had a few bad games. I mean, Packers, this last game, Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, the Lions, it's going to be interesting who they decide to bring in as offensive coordinator because the Dan Campbell experiment, I don't like it. They need to find an identity there. I do see Mark Brunell still sitting there as QB coach.
Well, it's just like the situation that the Eagles had, a couple years ago, right? They had Steichen leave. They took a dump for 1 year. They tooled up again. This year kind of took a step again. So it's just the ebbs and flow. It looks like the coordinators more recently have had a bigger impact than years past. We'll see who they get.
Well, we touched on it last year, I think maybe towards the end or during the next coaching cycle. I know Jason and I agreed when we said the best coach on that coaching staff's Ben Johnson. The Lions are going to take a step back. Now, we talked about it last year too. Liam Cohen, is he the best coach on the Tampa staff? Well, they've lost him and they've taken a step back. So when you lose elite coordinators that are, proven to be good head coaches, at least here in year 1, the teams that they've left have taken steps back. So it will be interesting to see, like I said, who the Lions bring in. A lot of injuries on defense. That offensive line was kind of banged up too. Goff's getting older. Maybe they're looking for a quarterback here to shore up here.
I think there's still a year or 2 out for another quarterback. All right. Any other comments? No. What are you guys looking forward to most into week 18?
I mean, you really got one game of significant consequence when it comes to the playoff. It's your Steelers versus the Ravens, and I think like we talked about the coaches and kind of jest there, but I mean, you could have changing of an era in one of those locations based on the outcome of that game. Does Tomlin, this was kind of his last stand, Rome. I mean, he guarantees you the winning season, but you haven't seen much success much beyond that. And I wasn't really tracking to the John Harbaugh dislike in Baltimore, but Rome, you brought that up a bunch during the season and where they're at, and so do they need something
huge
different
right now?
Yeah, so I mean, you could have a team getting in and the losing coach, it'd be, hey, we're gonna change an end of an era. I mean, I'm not even dismissing it. The thing, even who wins gets bounced in the first round of the playoffs, and they still get fired too. And this is the last time, you've seen a rivalry that's gone for decade plus, 15 years.
Yeah.
This is gone. I don't know.
No, I seriously think every coach in that division's out. I think the odds are really good.
I don't know. Stefanski doesn't. He wants to get fired, and they won't fire him. So he may be the only one surviving.
I would say this: when it looks too easy,
out of everyone, I could see him staying. Out of all of them that makes it alive.
Honestly, I would bet that all stay versus all get fired. I think Zach Taylor's. It's Joe Burrow's about to win 3 straight. He's shown if he's there healthy, he can win games of them. Stefanski, who wants the job? I mean, nobody wants that job.
Bengals don't fire people either. They kept Marvin Lewis, I think, 5 years longer than he was supposed to be there.
And Marvin Lewis was like 0-5 in the playoffs. He never even won a playoff game. And then I think Tomlin, he's probably going to lose this game. And I think I saw something or been hearing that they can void like 30 to 50 million of DK's contract because of what he pulled.
They said they are.
I think they will.
I heard they said they weren't.
Well, I don't know if they are or not, but if they don't make the playoffs, I mean, they got one guy really to blame, and I think it's DK.
DK?
Because that's a big loss. I mean, they did not do anything offensively. So I think Tomlin, 19 years winning record as a head coach. I think Pittsburgh's not going to get rid of him.
Dude, it's been nice, dude. But
look, I mean, there's quarterbacks out there. Rodgers gone. We talked about Malik Willis. I think that's a good fit for them if they can get there. And Harbaugh, say what you want. If he gets in the playoffs again, they're going to host a playoff game against the Texans, more than likely.
I'll take the Texans all day.
You got to have a big horse. Derrick Henry's a perfect guy to go up against that defense, so it's a good matchup. So I would not dismiss Harbaugh getting canned right off the bat. If he loses this game at Pittsburgh without DK, I would say the chances go up quite a bit. But I'd find it hard to believe Baltimore loses this game with or without Lamar. It'd be tough. Just, I don't know if Pittsburgh has enough offensively to muster a win.
So you guys are going for Baltimore. All right.
Hard. I would bet. I'm betting Baltimore big money line. Don't even take the points. Just money line them.
I had Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, so that's where my pick was at. So.
I got him in the Super Bowl, so I got to keep riding with him.
You guys lost those bets already. I got to go back and review what we picked all together. You guys actually have Baltimore in that?
Yeah. I know it was Baltimore-Buffalo in the AFC Championship game.
So I
think I had Baltimore-Denver.
I definitely had the Bills making moves. So I think I had Bills-Niners. That was my Super Bowl prediction.
Possibility. But yeah, going on that game, Rome, I mean, Seattle 49ers, huge. That gets you the bye, the number 1 seed. And I know we've talked about, Tampa, Carolina is a big game as well. But obviously the game we talked about when we started the show, New Orleans, Atlanta, the game that really could decide that division. Crazy, but Atlanta, if it gets the win, Carolina gets in the playoffs after, basically a 31-0 loss early in the year against those guys, which has us still shaking our head, but could get Carolina in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Why do Carolina get in if Atlanta wins?
Because they beat Atlanta twice, and Tampa only beat them once. So out of the 3-way round robin, they have the tiebreaker.
That's a crazy tiebreaker, man. That's wild. I'm not hating it. I do like Carolina to make more noise out of all those teams anyways in the playoffs. Like, they have the most potential. When they're hot, they're hot. They could get blown out though.
I don't know if you could say when they're hot, when they have a minus 67 point differential on the year.
Dude, you see their games?
I don't know when Carolina's hot.
I don't think they get hot. I think they just they somehow survive and they're just there at the end and something happens.
Was it him and Caleb with the most comeback from behind wins this season? Caleb with 4, Young with 3.
Sounds
Doesn't Young have like 8 or 9 in his career?
In the last 2 years.
Yeah.
No, he has 10 in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He might get another one on this weekend.
I might pick them. And they might disappoint me.
Logic says go with them, but
yeah.
You got to throw logic out the door in some of these games.
It doesn't matter in the end of the season. All right, cool. I got nothing else to add unless you guys watched any college football games. Quick little 2-minute drill. Nothing. What do you guys think about the new Michigan hire, at least? Huh?
I like it.
It's a good hire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 5-year window, but yeah.
Is that all he's given him, 5 years or what?
Well, he's old. Well, yeah.
He's 66, 67?
66.
Yeah, I think he said 5 years. That's his kind of main plan. That would put him
his last
71.
Yeah.
Did he retire from that? Because he straight up.
No, he stepped down and said he was entering the transfer portal tongue in cheek. He's not done. He's just going to go check out other jobs. Then all of a sudden this job opens up. I have a feeling they had this back channel thing working for quite a while or something. Because for him to step down for a job they actually like.
But when did he step down? Before Sharon Moore thing or after? Because I don't remember. The timing is around the same. Do you know?
The articles made it seem like he did it before. But the Sharon Moore thing came out of nowhere, man. It was December 3rd.
Yeah, but there'd been
there
rumors.
were rumblings about it. Yeah.
There was guys that already had inside info a week or 5 days before, hey, something's going to get announced here soon. And then, boom, it just popped in the middle of the week.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, I know they already had the other coach in waiting. That had already been set up for 2 years because the defensive coordinator's taken over. So that already been pre-planned 2 years ago. And I know since they had such a rough year last year, he didn't want to step down because he didn't want to leave the program on what I think they went that was the first losing year in a decade for them.
Yeah, and then they had a
ton of injuries. So
yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Well, I guess if I'm looking at this right, on December 12th, he announced he was stepping down from his position. So I don't know.
What was the Sharon Moore thing on the 15th?
Could have sworn it
was around the same time. It was close.
Yeah. It was close, but I think there was reports that they knew about this in early December, even around the Ohio State game, right?
Well, there was some guy on Twitter making rounds about it in October that something shady was happening. Michigan fired Sharon Moore December 10th.
So he steps down on the 12th, and he was. I think you're right. There were probably some back channels. I think regardless, it's a good hire. You get a 5-year window. I think my favorite tweet about it was he's got X. He follows X amount of people on Instagram, and there's not one woman he follows. And it's
just his wife and his daughter, right?
Wife and his daughter, and no other women he follows.
Well, he has not had he's such the typical opposite because he's had no controversy. He's
the Mormon, right? He's from Provo, Utah, right?
I don't know if Mormons are actually faithful. Don't they have multiple wives?
Well, not this guy, I guess. He's only following one on Instagram, unlike the
Mormons
other Michigan man.
Too good of a rap, all right? You can't have 15 wives.
You're suspicious of your own head coach now, right? All right, you're right there. It's too good of a rap.
Well, no. Now it makes sense why Michigan would hire him. He fits in if he's got 5 wives, according to Rome.
No, this guy's actually a Midwestern guy, so it makes sense. He has ties. He just never coached there. I think he's played there, whenever he fucking played college a long time ago. But he has no baggage, and he's just brings a no nonsense approach, which Michigan hasn't had in a long time. So,
yeah, I think it's a really good.
I hope everyone gets fired in Michigan. The AD and everything.
So it looks like he was born here in San Luis Obispo, but he did go to BYU. He's a GA, graduate assistant there. So that's where he went to college. So he's been pretty much in Utah, his whole life there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Michigan hiring Urban Meyer disciple and Kyle
Yeah.
Willingham. Obviously,
Urban
Urban Meyer
Meyer's bad though.
had a lot of success at Ohio State.
Well, Urban Meyer had a lot of success on and off the field.
Yeah, no doubt, and still is. So congrats to him. I mean, that's what winning does. You get some avenues that other people don't. But I think, yeah, I like it as a good hire. We'll see if he can keep Underwood there and keep him there. But Michigan looks like they got the right guy for right now. And we'll see what ends up happening.